Hi.
So what is up guys, it's RJ here, and today with me I have the Galaxy A71 in one hand, and in my other hand I have the Pixel 3a. The Pixel 3a is my Android daily driver, but recently I have been using the A71 for review purposes. So I figured some of you out there might be interested in a comparison between these two mid-range smartphones from Google and Samsung. Now I did do separate reviews on both of these devices in the past, so if you are interested in checking that out, I will leave video links down in the description below. But quickly before we do continue, if this is your first time here on this channel, I would really appreciate if you guys could leave a like down below and subscribe to the channel because that would go a long way in helping me out. The Pixel 3a currently in Canada is going for 549 Canadian dollars. Meanwhile, the Galaxy A71 goes for $599. So about a $50 difference give or take. Now on paper, the A71 seems like the better phone. It's packing the mid-tier Snapdragon 730 chipset with 6 or 8 GB of RAM depending on which model you choose to go with, and 128 GB of storage. All of this for $600 seems like a pretty fair bargain. But the beauty of the Pixel doesn't resonate in its specs. The Pixel 3a is running a lower tier Snapdragon 670 chipset with 4 GB of RAM and 64 GB of storage. Where the 3a shines though is in the translation of these mid-tier specs into day-to-day performance. You see, stock Android, just like an iPhone, doesn't need high-end specs to run smoothly. Stock Android is optimized well enough to get the most out of these low-tier specs, so you never feel like the Pixel 3a is lagging behind in performance. Meanwhile, Samsung's One UI 2.0 I feel like is a very heavy skin. It doesn't necessarily bog down the performance, but you could tell Samsung went out of their way to call this skin their own. With both of these devices being mid-range devices, there is no IP rating, no wireless charging, and no reverse wireless charging. But both of these devices do have a USB-C charging port, and both of these devices also come with a headphone jack. So is the trade-off worth it? For myself, I do use wireless earbuds often, so a lack of a headphone jack wouldn't have mattered. I would have liked to see an IP rating just for a peace of mind, since I do often spill water on my devices. Both of these phones are capable of running Call of Duty Mobile and Fortnite on high graphics. So in terms of performance, no matter which phone you choose to go with, you will be more than satisfied with the performance you get out of both these devices. With both these devices, day-to-day interaction is great, there is no noticeable lag or stutter, opening apps is pretty decent in terms of speed, and the average consumer will be more than happy with how these phones perform. Google opted to go with an OLED panel on the 3a, and I'm glad that they did. You get vibrant colors, wide viewing angles, and perfect blacks for a decent price. The resolution is pretty good too at 2220 by 1080 pixels, which is a PPI 441. Where I do have to complain though is that the screen could be a bit brighter. It peaks at 401 nits, which isn't enough for me. I've said this before and I'll say it again, Samsung never skimps out on the display when it comes to any of their smartphones. The A71 is rocking a Super AMOLED 6.7-inch panel with rounded corners and a punch hole for the front camera. It sports a resolution of 2400 by 1080 for a PPI of 393. So with the Pixel 3a unsurprisingly having a smaller screen, it has a sharper display, but it's very hard to tell the difference side by side with just a simple eye test. The A71 also has the brighter panel maxing out at 550 nits. I personally do prefer the A71's display. It's bigger, it's brighter, and it's more enjoyable to consume content and play games. Keep in mind, it is a 6.7-inch panel, so even just casual browsing is more pleasant on the A71. My only complaint with the display is this centered hole punch housing the front-facing camera. It can be pretty intrusive when watching media, so I would have preferred it to be in the corner somewhere, just out of the way. In my experience, both of these devices have excellent battery life. Whether you choose to go with the 3a or the A71, one complaint you won't have is battery life. The Pixel 3a is housing a 3000 mAh battery with quick charging capabilities. I run my devices on mid to high range in terms of brightness and mostly on LTE since I do have an unlimited plan and I do find it to be faster than Wi-Fi in my area. And with the Pixel 3a, I am averaging around 7.5 hours of screen on time with the full charge, so pretty good battery life. With the A71, we get a massive 4500 mAh battery, and the phone does come with a 25 watt fast charge. I've been really impressed with the battery life on the A71. I'm getting around 2 full days of battery life, so about 9 hours of screen on time. I've never used a 2-day battery life phone before, so this is my first one. I usually end my days with around 50% battery health, which is more than enough for the next day. So screen on time is super impressive. I'm curious to see though how the battery holds up in the long run. So the battery life advantage clearly goes to the A71, but with the Pixel 3a you won't be disappointed either with the screen on time. Now let's get to the fun part, the cameras. You may have noticed the Pixel 3a only has a single rear facing lens. Meanwhile, the A71 has a more versatile setup with a quad lens camera layout. But don't let this setup fool you. While the A71 definitely wins in terms of versatility, the Pixel 3a is housing a camera worthy of a flagship. Let's compare the primary lens on both these devices. The Pixel 3a has a 12.2 megapixel lens with an f1.8 aperture featuring modes such as night mode, portrait mode, and super res zoom. Super res zoom is Google's version of digital zoom that's comparable to optical zoom in terms of quality of pictures. Meanwhile, the primary lens on the A71 is a 64 megapixel shooter, also with an f1.8 aperture, featuring modes such as night sight, live focus, and pro mode, although the pro mode is not very pro. Quality-wise, the Pixel 3a delivers better quality pictures, although the A71 isn't slacking either. With the Pixel 3a, we get rich image saturation, well-balanced contrast, and very natural-looking photos. Even in low-light situations, the Pixel 3a outperforms the A71. You can see a lot more noises introduced into shots taken on the A71. Meanwhile, the image processing power on the Pixel 3a does a good job of absorbing whatever light is around it to process better pictures. The A71, while lagging behind the Pixel 3a, is no slouch. We still get rich image saturation, but very often the color contrast is too rich and images don't look very natural. We also notice some noise even in some well outdoor lit conditions, which is kind of weird. Night mode is also clearly better on the 3a. Google software does a good job of delivering optimal results even in pitch black conditions. Meanwhile, it looks like night mode on the A71 just tries to overexpose the picture to make up for a lack of light just by cranking up the exposure, and this introduces a lot of noise into these images. Both of these devices are capable of shooting in 4K at 30 FPS, and both also feature their own version of software to deal with stabilization. The video shot from the A71 looks better in terms of quality, but the Pixel 3a does a better job of stabilizing the footage, once again flexing its power of software optimization. I don't take too many selfies, maybe once a month or so, but if you are into selfies and you want a phone just for the best selfies possible, I would definitely get the Pixel 3a. The front-facing camera on the Pixel 3a is an 8 megapixel lens, and it isn't capable of getting those extra wide-angle shots, but it does deliver some flagship quality selfies. The A71 is featuring a 32 megapixel selfie shooter, and it also has the option to get those wide-angle selfies. All of these selfies apply Samsung's beauty filter, and these shots just look very unnatural. I mean, look at me, I'm not that beautiful, come on Samsung. So if you absolutely need that ultra wide angle lens and versatility in your life, and you are okay with sacrificing a bit of quality, the A71 is the way to go. I know a lot of people, especially in 2020, who just need that ultra wide angle lens, and that is quite understandable. But if you want flagship quality pictures out of your smartphone and you don't need that ultra wide angle lens like myself, I would highly recommend the Pixel 3a. So the camera comparison between these two smartphones is as simple as that. When choosing an Android device, OS is very important. It either makes or breaks your Android experience. The Pixel 3a runs Android 10 out of the box and it features stock Android. The A71 is also running Android 10 and it's featuring Samsung's One UI skin. While Samsung has come a long way since its TouchWiz days, it's hard for me to depart from a clean Android experience that the Pixel 3a offers. Not to mention the A71 comes loaded with a bunch of pre-installed apps, almost of all which I don't need. So if you want a phone with a clean, smooth OS that will provide up to 3 years of software updates, not to mention Pixel phones are always the first to get Android updates, then go with the Pixel 3a. But if you are already tied into the Samsung ecosystem and you do prefer a phone with a ton of features, then go with the A71. It's as simple as that. But I do have to mention Samsung is notoriously slow with software updates, and you'll be lucky to get even 2 years of updates with the A71. Most tech reviewers don't mention a phone's speaker, but I feel like the speaker quality is very important when it comes to choosing a smartphone. The Pixel 3a is featuring dual firing speakers, meanwhile the A71 has a single bottom firing speaker. Let's do a sound test and find out which one delivers the better sound. So that was pretty surprising. The Pixel 3a definitely has the better sounding speakers, and surprisingly at max volume the Pixel 3a is even louder than the A71, which did catch me off guard. And also something noteworthy is that when I am using the A71 for media consumption, I do have to be conscious of covering the speaker grill with my thumb because that completely blocks out the sound sometimes and it does ruin the whole experience, so there is that to keep in mind.
What
So this comparison was a lot closer than I expected. The Pixel 3a did hold its own. The Pixel 3a has a better camera and a better software experience. Meanwhile, the A71 has the better battery, a better display, and a more versatile camera setup. If I had to choose between the two, I would go with the Pixel 3a. I just enjoy stock Android too much and I'm completely okay with a single rear-facing camera. If you guys want to learn more or even buy one of these devices, I will leave Amazon affiliate links down in the comments below. If you do choose to buy using those links, I do get a small commission at no extra cost to you, which does help out the channel. Because buying and reviewing these products can be pretty expensive. So yeah, go check out those links in the comments below. And if you haven't already, make sure you do subscribe to the channel. And I will see you all in the next one. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. And don't forget to flex with your tech, no matter which device you choose.